What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the All of Life podcast. It's Warren here, John there. I was almost going to say Jim because I'm so used to it being
The ghost of
three
Jim.
of us. Yeah, the ghost of Jim. So we left his spot empty. Jim's still alive. He's just coming back from vacation. Yeah, he's on vacation, and so we figured we'll keep things going.
Yeah.
And so have a great episode planned for today. And as we always do here on the All of Life podcast, we like to start with things that are just at the top of our mind. And so, John, it's just us today.
Yeah.
Love to hear what's on the top of your mind, my man.
Man, the over this year, we've been talking about just the power of invites and inviting people to church specifically.
Yeah.
And man, something that I've been thinking about just this summer, even mainly because of seeing it happen in our local church, but is not only the power of an invite, but the power of inviting someone to put their faith in Jesus.
Yeah, man.
And it's just been one of those cool things where, like, as Christians, we know, like, hey, people are meeting Jesus and giving their lives to the Lord, but something that I've been reflecting on is the joy that brings when stories are shared of the fact that people are getting saved.
Yep.
And for those of you that are listening, like, just to even share that this has been happening in our congregation a lot. Even in this summer, there's been a lot of new people who are showing up, haven't been to church before, don't know the Bible, and yet they've been meeting Jesus, giving their lives to Jesus. And even in the last couple of weeks, it's been really cool in the response time of the services when people are going to the prayer team and they're giving their lives to Jesus. And so I've just really been reflecting on the power of not only an invite and inviting someone to come to church with you, but also inviting someone to put their faith in Jesus.
Man, it has been powerful and encouraging, I would say, even over the last year as a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
And, as pastors, we kind of get a special kind of privilege of being able to hear a lot of these stories.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, the power of that has been incredible. The stories have been incredible. Makes me think that something that I don't know if we go through the world remembering this, like, we believe in our theology, like, we are created for relationship with God, right?
Yeah.
And we would say that if you are out of that relationship, you can never truly feel at peace.
For sure.
Because you are outside of the peace that you were created for. And I think sometimes what we forget is that there are our neighbors, our family members, our friends, or people around us everywhere we are who are outside of that relationship.
Yeah.
And I think we sometimes think that they feel or have found peace.
Yeah.
And we know, like, that is impossible.
Dude, totally.
It's impossible.
Totally.
So, I mean, for everything you're saying, like the power of the invitation, the power of inviting people to come to church, to consider what faith would mean for their lives, like, we aren't talking, like, in sales, they talk about cold sales and leads and stuff like that. Like, we are dealing with people who are searching.
The Spirit is at work in their
work.
lives. And yeah, I have felt even this year, and I've shared this with you guys, but to share it with everyone that's listening, like, this has maybe been like the most exciting year to be a pastor.
Totally,
I've been a pastor for more than 10 years now, and it's probably been the most excitement that I've felt, mainly because we are seeing God move in really powerful ways, undeniable ways, things that many of us have prayed for years, and you're seeing God move in people's lives, and you go, man, this is what all of us live for. This is why we got into vocational ministry. So yeah, just be encouraged. Like, it's something that's on the top of my mind, just that I'm giving thanks to God for. Like, there's been specific prayers answered, but just seeing the people that God is bringing has been amazing. And so invite people.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Man, invite someone. All right, so top of the mind for me, I was thinking about this. I think you'll really like this. Excuse me. I'm coming down off a cough. It feels just wrong to be sick during the summer, but that's what happened. But anyway, so we're in this worship and wisdom season, right? And a lot of that revolves around Proverbs, revolves around books like Ecclesiastes, wisdom literature.
Yeah.
Right? was thinking about this because I was in my Bible reading this summer. I've been deep in First and Second Samuel, First and Second
Yeah.
Kings. I've been geeking out over this stuff.
Yeah, that's what you were saying, dude.
Oh man, I've been deep in it. Going down all sorts of rabbit trails. But I was thinking about this in terms of Solomon, and what we believe is like, man, Scripture's a whole story, and like in all these different parts, we need to remember the context,
Yeah.
right? Of when things are happening, when things are said, to truly understand what Scripture's trying to do. I was thinking about that when it comes to Solomon, because I think if there is someone who is often removed from his context in his life,
Yeah, dude.
Solomon.
Yeah. He's
And
an
we know-
interesting man.
Yeah, right? And we know there are no perfect people in the Bible besides Jesus,
Yeah.
right? And so there's levels of complexity to all these different characters, and they bring something good. They also bring their sin to the equation, like we do. Right?
Yeah.
And man, though, there's something with Solomon that struck me, because as I'm thinking, and I love the Proverbs, I love Ecclesiastes, I love these books, but when I read about his life towards the end of it, so towards the end of it, he kind of makes a mess of things.
Yeah.
A complete mess of
Yeah.
his life, right?
Yeah.
And it happens that as soon as his son is born, Rehoboam, the next king that comes after him, the first decision that he is poised with making or presented with making, he makes a completely unwise decision.
Totally.
Completely unwise, that splinters the people of God.
Yeah.
And so it makes me think, like Solomon, he wrote all these proverbs, he wrote all these incredible things that we love and man, are so good. Like, I'm not taking away from it who God made him to be and the gift that he gave him, undeniable, right? But there was something there of like, you have all this wisdom, but because of the way his life kind of ended up, and the wealth and the riches and all that, really, I think the hardest thing to pass down is not wisdom, it's humility. And I think it can be really hard as the circumstances of your life, in Solomon's case, and even in our lives, gets better and better and better to think about what we're passing down, like a legacy of faith. It can be really hard to pass down humility, even though we have all these like good things that have happened, and maybe we can even share about our faith. And so I don't know. I feel like this is something I've heard you talk about a lot, of like, man, your life, like,
Yeah.
even up team more important than whatever huge thing you might accomplish in ministry.
Yeah, it's true. And you wonder how do you pass down humility?
Yeah.
And that's a lot harder than wisdom.
Right.
Because wisdom can be, obviously wisdom's relational, but we glean Solomon's wisdom even though we never met the man.
Right.
Like, we're removed.
Right.
Thousands of years, but it's written down. Humility, though, is something that almost rubs off on you, and you go, you either experience it from seeing it modeled or seeing it exemplified, or acts of humility done in your favor, right? But it's modeled.
Yeah.
And you can't really write humility down. The only reason why Jesus' humility is written down, like in Philippians 2, is because he actually did it.
Right.
And he modeled it, and we've received it. And so you go, oh, because Jesus, in the ultimate act of humility, loved this way, lived this way, died this way, all of this, we've received his humility.
Yes.
And so now we're able to exemplify the humility. But yeah, it's a really interesting thing.
Yeah, man.
And it rubs off on you.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I think what that has done for me is it has even made more beautiful when I say something, or when it's even said that Jesus is the King of Kings.
Yeah. Yeah.
That can just feel like a nice Christian thing to say.
Yeah.
But when you look at these different kings, as great as they were, as great as David was, as great as Solomon was, as great as all these kings in the history of God's people were, like, there is no king like Christ.
Totally. Yeah, the other interesting thing is a lot of these other kings, for all of their wisdom, weren't actually humble.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so even in like David, who's like the man after God's own heart, when he fails, he's not humble.
No.
He's got to be rebuked.
Yes.
You know, and so it's really interesting. You realize the power of humility.
Yeah.
And for us, humility is something you can try to get, but you can't get it unless you love it.
Yes.
Like you have to love humility.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. And yeah, if Jim was on here, you know, it'd be the ghost of Jim sitting here. But Jim models this really well.
Right.
You know, Jim models humility, and when you see a model, it makes you love it.
Exactly.
And you're like, dang man, there's something good about that.
Something good about that. And I think with the failure to be able to model humility, it led to a lot of what came down the line for those kings, as great as some of them were.
Let me ask you this. Yeah. Why do you think, like for the beauty of humility, the power of humility, the need for humility to even be a Christian, why do you think humility is not one of the fruit of the Spirit?
Oh, that's a great question, man. Oh man, I gotta really
I've often wondered that.
Yeah, no, that's
someone asked me like a while ago, and they're like, hey, there's a lot of talk about humility, but humility is not a fruit of the Spirit.
Well, some of it feels like the things that the fruit of the Spirit, the other ones, like the joy, the peace, the patience, gentleness, like some of those feel like the ingredients for humility.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. Like these are the things that if we are actually, the Spirit is growing these things in us, that the fruit of that in our lives will be humility.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the way in which I make sense of it is in order for the fruit of the Spirit to be produced, humility is a prerequisite.
Absolutely.
Because you won't receive the Spirit of God unless you humble yourself.
Exactly. Exactly, man. I think of Jesus, John 15, right? You can do nothing apart from me.
Yeah.
15? Yeah. And so like even there, it starts there, to your point. Before these things can even grow in us, Spirit of God can even work, we need to surrender ourselves to Christ and recognize our limits.
Because like with the other fruit of the Spirit, joy, peace, things like that, patience, those are not prerequisites to the Spirit of God. But humility is, because all you need is need to become a Christian.
That's right.
And in order to recognize your need, you have to humble yourself. And so it feels like the only thing that is required of you to give your life to the Lord is to say, I don't have it together. Yeah. Which is an act of humility, right? But all of these other things now are things that the Spirit now cultivates in you after becoming a Christian. But it's really interesting.
That's good, man.
Because somebody asked me that a while ago, and I was like, man, I got to chew on this. Let me actually get back to you. That's a zinger, you know? And I pulled the same zinger on you right now.
That's good. That's really true. It makes me think about, you preached a sermon, Beatitudes.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was
a fun one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So. All right, we got a lot to cover today. And so let's shift gears a bit. And let's talk about something that has been in the headlines recently.
All over.
I say headlines like we're still dealing with newspaper, but you guys know what I mean. It's trending.
It's gone viral.
It's gone viral. And so, yeah, man, let's talk about this situation with the Coldplay concert, CEO of Astronomer, and his mistress, who was
head of the HR, right?
Head of HR. And so this has been everywhere. And man, like I don't want to come into this and make light of the situation, because it is a very, let's be real about this. There are real people who are being impacted by this, real people being affected by this. And so, you know, I think the world has kind of been or laughing at it, but this is like a serious situation. Yeah. But I think it reveals some stuff. So before we get into all that, I would just love to hear, what was your initial reaction to seeing that video?
Yeah, well, my initial reaction was actually to Marika. Marika was like, "Hey, did you see
Hmm.
that this thing happened at this Coldplay?" And it was like right when it was first coming out, so she had pretty limited even.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that sounds crazy," like they got an affair got, or what
Hmm.
we would say is adultery, got exposed at a Coldplay concert. And then, dude, I don't know how these things work, but it was like it recorded Marika, and man, my like feed.
Oh
That's
yeah, it
all
was
that's coming
everywhere.
through, man.
It was everywhere.
And so my initial reaction was, dang,
Yeah.
the truth came into the light.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a crazy
It almost
thing.
feels like choose your Bible verse.
Yeah,
Because there are
yeah.
just so many things that,
Dude, and so you just
apply.
go, some people are like, oh man, that's bad luck.
Yeah.
We don't believe in luck or
That's right.
coincidence,
That's right.
but God is sovereign. And so you go, man, like things that are done in the dark will be exposed, whether it's in the final judgment or
Yeah.
whether it's in these moments like this. And so for me, I just go, dang, man, like Chris Martin, it almost seemed like prophetic.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the dude's a prophet or anything, but it's almost the way that when you read the Bible, like these prophetic moments
Yeah.
where it wasn't just the kiss cam, but as soon as they like bolted,
Yeah.
he goes something like they're either shy or they're having an affair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he like calls it,
He calls
And so then I go, dang, man, this is crazy.
Yep.
And so I couldn't believe, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It was almost like it's like one of those 1 in a billion chances.
Yeah. Dude, totally, man. And I think, so I saw a video, and I was first like, is this real?
Yeah.
Because if there's something I've seen clips of over time is fake videos on kiss cams. Like that,
Yeah, for
that
sure.
is like one of those things that
And AI can do a lot now.
yeah, AI can do a lot. Sometimes arenas like do stuff
Yeah.
like that to make the arena, they get a rise
Yep.
out of it. And so I'm like, is this real?
Yeah.
And then it was revealed like this was real. This
Yeah.
was a real incident. I think some things that struck me is at first I was actually really hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so sad.
Yeah.
Because, all right, I don't know everything about the video. I'm not proposing to be an expert on this situation, but I even saw that there were people surrounding that couple who were
Yeah.
laughing, and the way that it felt like they were laughing was like they knew this situation was inappropriate too.
Yeah.
And it just made me sad that, like, man, all right, it's one thing for these two folks to be consented to this, and as bad as that is, but for other people,
Because they were in a suite, right?
yeah, to know that this situation is going on and to just encourage and be aware of it, man, I don't know, something about that like hit me hard.
Yeah.
But then it's just I think I just had a hard time believing it was real, and then I was just like, wow, what a mess.
Yeah.
What a mess that this is going to cause for these folks involved, and the spouses on the other end. And so,
Yeah.
man, I was thinking about this. There have been so many reflections, reaction videos, things said about this. I think there are a number of things at play. I think one of the things at play is the class dynamics of it, right? The
Yeah.
CEO, he's like a billionaire, and there's this common kind of sentiment right now of hatred towards folks,
Yeah.
making a lot of money, and this feels like, all right, the powerful is
Yeah.
brought low. So yeah,
Yeah.
did you see that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so many commentaries on it
Mhm.
already. That I'm seeing threads on Instagram and things. And for sure, it's
Yeah.
like a down with the rich elite,
Right.
and even just like some of the comments that have been made.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll get to in a second. So
Okay.
even just some of my reflections as I've been like, man, wow, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But that's one for sure.
Yeah,
Is there's like a
yeah.
class
There is.
dynamic,
Yeah.
and very much like in the same. Like I even saw something, and it is super like. Obviously, the internet is a cruel place.
Sure.
But even that dude that killed that last summer,
Oh,
the dude that killed the CEO, whatever his name was,
Mhm.
people were saying it's essentially like summer's the time to like take down like
Ugh.
these corporate execs that are ruining the world, and that just feels
That's
terrible. You know, it just feels wrong, you know, to rejoice in one's downfall.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, man, I think we should get into some of the reflections.
Yeah.
I've got one.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I got a couple.
So I was thinking about this, and we Jordan and I talked about it a number of times over this past weekend. She said something on Saturday morning that really stuck with me. She was like, "Why are people so enraged about this?"
Yeah.
She was like, "You have two adults who are consenting to this relationship."
Yeah.
And I think the messaging around sex and relationships and however, well, really starting from a long time ago, but definitely in the last 10, 20 years.
For sure.
Is you can do whatever you want.
For sure.
And so.
Yeah, like how does everybody know that this isn't a polyamorous relationship?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it reveals something.
Yep.
It reveals that when it comes to something like marriage, which is something that we have, I think society has said the boundaries, can be whatever you want them to be.
Yeah.
That we feel something innately that this is something sacred.
Yeah.
And that there should be a high standard for it.
Yeah.
And there should be things like commitment. There should be things like loyalty. There should be things like sacrifice that are a part of it. Yep. And it's just so interesting because I think that has been so opposite of the messaging that you hear around what marriage is and what it's about. But we feel these things innately. Why? Well, because marriage pictures something greater.
Totally.
And you cannot escape from that. God created it with certain boundaries because it is meant to reflect the relationship that we have with Christ.
Yeah.
And these moments and the anger and the rage that we feel when we're like, this is not right.
Yep.
Is because of that.
For sure.
And so I think, man, as a society, I feel like we have to choose which way you're going to go. It's either these things are totally in our hands, and then if someone takes it too far, who are you to say anything?
Yeah.
Or is it, no, these things have been created with a purpose and design.
Dude, totally.
So that was one of the big ones that, I think came out of it for me. And I think our rage and anger of what is happening there reveals our desire for a God who endlessly commits to us.
Yeah, man, I agree because it is. There's very much, I completely agree with that because there's very much in our cultural moment over the last few decades, like, whatever tagline you want to say about love, as long as it's consensual, it's cool.
Right.
Well, this was consensual.
Yeah.
So why is everybody upset? Well, is it that they deceived their spouses? Well, now you're making the judgment that this wasn't a polyamorous relationship because we've deemed polyamory okay in our society.
Right.
Like, you don't know, but automatically it goes boom.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because there is something universal because of God's creational design that marriage is between one man and one woman. Totally. And it is through God's design that leads to human flourishing. And it's a picture of the gospel. Everything you just said, throughout history, every time, every place, even in the ancient Near Eastern, where we're at with Genesis right now, even the pagan societies, they might have been totally cool with having a harem and things like that of women, but they were not okay with adultery or taking someone else's wife. And that has been time and time and time again kind of true. And I think it leads to this reality that there is something about covenant, and there's something about God's design within covenant that is undeniable. What I have really been reflecting on, though, is the flip side of why is everybody so angry? And why is everybody making these threads? Why is everybody mocking this situation? Because that's the other thing, is there's all of these things that recreating it. And that's where I've seen every kind of recreation of memes, sporting events are mocking it. And I think it's because when you see someone's downfall, it makes you feel better about yourself.
Oh, that is so true.
And the thing I can't can't get out of my head is if you actually sit in it, what has gone on between this guy, I think his name's Andy Byron, right?
I think so, yeah.
His family, the HR lady's family, they got kids from what I understand. Like, this is a tragedy.
Totally.
And there's going to be generational fallout of this. Even the statistics that show of his son or his daughter is learning, right? And we should grieve. Yeah. And instead we laugh at, we judge of like, you know, I'm seeing things even of like, well, you know, the worst thing about this situation is the fact that you went to a Coldplay concert. So then you go like, we're even judging the kind of music that they liked. Oh, man. We're judging them for being so stupid, for committing adultery, for going, all of these things. But I really do believe it's because it makes us feel better about ourselves. And we go, full-blown default is self-righteousness.
Totally.
And listen to this. Totally. This is what's come to mind. Luke 18.
Okay.
It's the Pharisee and tax collector. And if we just think about how we feel and what we're seeing in society pertaining to this kiss cam. The two men went up to the temple, one Pharisee, one tax collector. The Pharisee, standing by himself, prayed, God, I thank you that I am not like other men, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even like the tax collector. I fast twice a week, give tithes, all that, right? And then the tax collector stands far off and prays, beats on his chest, prays, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. And you go, how many of us, and even all of this stuff that I'm seeing, you go, we're acting like Pharisees about this.
Yeah.
And you go, man, at least I'm not like this dude.
Oh, shoot. And we're right back to humility.
Yeah, you know? And you just go, everything is saying how much better you are. But we already know that this happens all the time.
That's right.
And there's people that are engaged in this
Yeah.
or other kinds of sexual sin.
That's right.
And they just think that they're smarter because they haven't gotten caught. And we automatically go to, well, at least we're not like this scumbag, this rich dude. We start making the classism, you know, like take down the CEO, you know, all of these things. Or you just go, at least I'm not like this dude and I'm not so stupid to get caught. Yeah. And we now like actually celebrate his demise and downfall. And it's crazy because it reminds me of Luke 18. And we like to rejoice at people's downfall and demise, when actually if we could just scale back to say, dude, this is sad.
It is sad.
And his family's destroyed.
Yeah.
And we should also grieve that the reality is this dude, he just has a different story than us, but he's a sinner.
Yeah.
In need of God's grace. Yeah. And I'm not condoning what he did. Like, it's terrible. You know, it's terrible. But I've been looking at the threads and the responses, and everybody is talking about, man, this guy's an idiot. What a scumbag. You know, from the genre of music to the class comments to the fact that he would do this with the head of HR, throw his whole life away. And you just go, man, we love to celebrate people's demise because we then feel better about ourselves.
Absolutely, man. That is incredibly well said and true. And the truth of the matter is sometimes as Christians, the sad part is we're not that different from the world around us because the world is too much in us. And so instead of seeing a situation like this, which you're so right, like we should be grieving.
Yeah.
We should be praying for the people on the other side.
Dude, totally.
But we don't.
Yeah.
We laugh.
No, we laugh. And we're like, man.
We join in. We share the memes. And, you know, I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad. But it's true. Like, there should be a part of us, if we recognize our own condition. Yeah. We've been talking about humility. Our own reality that in our sin, we're not too many steps away from doing something like this. Yeah. You know the other thing that it reminds me of, it wasn't on a kiss cam, but it reminds me of, remember when like the Ashley Madison wasn't that the site? It was a cheating scandal. Yeah, I think that was the name of the site. Mm-hmm. Something Madison got hacked. Yep. And there were all these names of people. Some of them were even like prominent, not only CEOs and leaders, but some were prominent Christian leaders. Yeah. Yep. And they got exposed. And I just remember
the reaction was the same. It
Yeah.
was disdain for all of these like scumbag,
Yep.
like you
Yep.
deserve it and I'm better than you. And you just go, man, like the thing though that I feel like for us as the people of God,
Mhm.
our flinch response shouldn't be self-righteousness.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like this actually grieves the heart of God,
Yeah.
and we should mourn and we should
Absolutely.
pray. Like families are being destroyed. There's all of these things, and you just go, man. So that has just been the thing that I just like
Yeah,
have been
I love
reflecting
that,
on.
man. It's so true. I think something that these situations reveal is in us we desire a higher sexual ethic.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We may say differently,
Yeah,
but we desire it. And as the people of God, we know Jesus has that sexual ethic that is
yep,
up here.
yeah,
It's not if you hug a woman or hug a person who's not your spouse and then you've committed adultery. It's like it starts here in the heart.
yeah, dude. It's interesting,
Yeah.
man. That's been my. There's other reflections, but
Yeah.
I think
That's good, man.
the other thing with this parable,
Yeah.
and this gets into what we want to talk about, is the tax collector.
Yeah.
Is the prayer of God, be merciful to me, a sinner. And there's something, while this is going on with the kiss cam, we've been talking a lot about, we've been talking to other church and ministry leaders about there are a whole lot of tax collectors
Yeah.
who are praying this prayer today
Yeah.
in the Gen Z generation.
Totally.
People calling
Yeah.
this revival
Yeah.
that in our society and even around the world, what's going on in parts of Europe right now
Yeah.
is. I'd love to talk for a few minutes
Well,
on like.
man, I don't know if we're gonna have time today.
Okay.
Because we're getting
Okay.
short on time.
Yeah.
So we should probably just do a part 2 of this.
Okay.
I think the kiss cam stuff is gold for us to
Yeah.
to talk about. Something else that just came to mind as you were kind of talking about that in the tax collectors and that parable
Yeah.
of, all right, they got caught on that camera.
Yeah.
Now think about our own lives.
Yeah.
What would the camera
Dude, totally.
catch us doing when we think no one's looking?
Yep. Yeah.
And I think that's the place, humility. That's the place of remembering our need.
Yeah.
That's the place of remembering, okay, what he did was horrible, but he's a sinner. I'm a sinner like him.
Yeah. And I think, the other thing, which is earlier in Luke chapter 12, when Jesus is talking about the Pharisees again, and he gives this warning, and he talks to them about how all of the things that they've done in the dark and in secret, and even the conversations they've had, will be made known.
That's right.
And he's talking about the future judgment. But what God is doing is he actually has everything on camera.
That's right.
Like nothing is
That's
unnoticed, nothing goes unseen.
That's right. That's
And
right.
it is really interesting. The question that you're saying is, what are the parts of your life though
Yeah.
that if they were exposed, because all of us have messiness,
Right.
all of us have
Right.
sin, what would our response be? And
Exactly.
what would we want other people's response to be? And I just feel like that is the heart of God.
Yes.
And are we mirroring that?
Yeah.
It also does, when we've been in this season of wisdom, worship and wisdom. The other thing that another reflection that I have is, Proverbs 5 and Proverbs 7 are 2 entire chapters filled with proverbs about the adulterous woman. And it's a warning, a father giving wisdom to his son and instruction about seduction and the danger of seduction and the danger of lust. And you just go, man, if there is something that takes people down, not just men.
Yeah.
Proverbs was a father giving to a son, but this is for men and women. Man, it is the power of seduction.
Yeah.
And I think something like this should make all of us pause
So
and reflect to say, what kind of safeguards do we have for our eyes, for our ears, for our hearts? How are we setting up preventatives, because we know that the same problem in this guy, Andy Byron, lives in me.
That's right.
And it lives in you. That's right. And it lives in you. And you go, well, how do we prevent ourselves from getting there?
That's right.
And I do feel like that's the beauty of these Proverbs. Some of my favorite Proverbs are in those chapters, because it really talks about the danger and destruction of it.
Totally, man. It feels like this story, there are so many threads that we can pull on. I mean,
Totally.
We didn't even talk about why, in this situation, he is the one that's getting the most flack.
Yeah.
Right? There's something there, even of like men and our role as protectors and
for sure.
All that. That's like another thread that we can pull on. And we could probably talk about this situation for 2 hours.
Oh yeah, man. We could dissect every part of it. There's a lot here.
A lot here.
Yeah.
A lot to say, but I love what you said last, and I think that is a good stopping place for us. For this.
Yeah.
There will be no shortage of reflections and things to say, but I think for us, as we seek to follow God and give Him all of our life, like, man, what are the safeguards?
Yeah.
That we are putting up around our own lives.
Yeah. No, that's good. And then in a future one, we got to talk revival.
Yeah. We're gonna get into that. In our next one. So anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap here at this moment. Remember, I hope today as you navigate the headlines of viral things, that we remember that the people of God, we don't just show up on Sundays at church. We show up in our workplace. We show up in every area of our life, including where we scroll. And so that should call us to think about what it means to be faithful in those places. So, guys, we will see you next time right here again on the All Life Podcast. Have a great week. See you next time.